William Hildebrand. Welcome, William. We begin with a message of confidence from the French finance minister.
That's right. The country's under pressure to reduce its deficit to the EU mandated 3% of GDP. Now, last year, the figure stood at 4.3, and Brussels has already extended the deadline once for France, but some economists doubt whether the country will hit its target. Our correspondents in Washington took time to speak to the confident French finance minister.
France anticipated a deficit between 2.8 and 3%. So we're on course with the models we've been working with. The growth and deficit predictions made by the IMF reinforce our wish to respect our commitments, which is in France's interest, and at the same time to act to boost growth.
How are things shaping up in the markets, William?
Things in Asia right now largely in the red. The Nikkei down 2%, as you can see there. But trading overall in Asia was largely down to a steep sell-off on Wall Street on Thursday. The tech-heavy Nasdaq index dropped 3.1%, its steepest decline since November 2011. Amazon, Facebook, and Google all closed down 4% or more.
Now on to Germany now, and a project that was meant to be one of the gems of the capital has become an embarrassing bailout project.
Yes, sir. We don't expect to hear stories like this coming out of Germany, but Berlin's swanky Brandenburg Airport was slated to open in 2011, but cost overruns and delays have set it back, and it's still yet to open. Development has not been finished, and the authorities are seeking a €1 billion bailout program. Delano de Souza has more.
An expensive embarrassment for a punctual country. Berlin's Brandenburg Airport, scheduled to open in 2011, is now asking the government for €1.1 billion. The project was initially intended to cost €1.2 billion, but it's now gone $3.5 billion over budget. When it opens, the airport will become Germany's third largest, with 27 million passengers per year expected. However, with the airport's prolonged delay, public tours of the construction site are picking up.
It's crazy what's happening here. But we're German. We'll figure it out. But I don't understand how we got here.
Below the departure hall, a spotless empty metro station. The cost of its upkeep per day is around €1 million. For example, this metro that runs on time ferries no passengers. It only circulates to ventilate the tunnels. A faulty fire system is the main culprit behind the delay. Cutting-edge smoke extraction devices aren't working the way they're supposed to. Architects behind the project have been accused of underestimating safety issues.
It's really bad for the engineering and the reputation of Germany. The whole world is laughing at Berlin. It's bad for our image.
There's an internal deadline to finish the airport by October 2016, but engineers have warned that might not be possible. There's still no official date set for the hub's opening.
Let's take a look now at the day's other company news.
Trois Suisse France is to cut 198 jobs. The French clothing and furniture retailer made the announcement as it plans to scrap its paper catalog in favor of focusing on its internet business. The group currently employs 409 people. Since 2008, though, the French division has lost about €300 million.
IBM announces it'll acquire Silverpop. The Atlanta-based tech firm makes software that monitors customer behavior, such as commenting on a blog post or watching an advertisement video. Terms of the deal were not disclosed, but are reportedly in the ballpark of $270 million.
And starting April 15th, Google Glass goes on limited sale for 24 hours in the United States. The internet-connected headset will cost $1,500, a cost that has drawn criticism for being too high. The product is an example of tech firms exploring more and more with wearable technologies.
And we finish with a story about a new apartment listing in New York, but it's not just any apartment. Isn't that right?
That's right. France has put up its UN ambassador's residence for sale. The apartment landed on the chopping block as France is trying to cut its cost, and it's located on the exclusive Park Avenue. An 18-room duplex is on the market for $48 million, and it's in a building that's been nicknamed the Millionaires Building, with previous residents like the Kennedys and Rockefellers.
All right, William Hildebrandt there with today's business news. Thank you very much for joining us. And now it's time for web news, starting with online reactions from the Heartbleed bug.
The Canadian Tax Authority has shut down public access to online services until further notice to protect taxpayers' personal information after a flaw in a widely used encryption method was exposed by security experts earlier this week. A flaw that impacts tens of thousands of web pages across the globe. Hackers could have been using the flaw, the Heartbleed bug, to access data since 2011, collecting personal information including passwords and bank card numbers. The revelations have got web users extremely worried, and they're taking steps to deal with the situation. The purpose-built Heartbleed.com was soon set up to keep web users updated on the extent of the problem and answer any questions. The English language webpage explains the measures to be taken to protect systems from the bug, like changing online passwords, for example. The page also seeks to reassure citizens and says a patch has already been found to fix the flaw. News that will no doubt see web users breathe a sigh of relief, although they are advised to check if any of the sites they visit have been affected by the security flaw. A number of platforms have been set up with this in mind. Web users just have to enter the name or address of a web page to find out if their personal data has been compromised by or is vulnerable to the Heartbleed bug. The Better Naked Than Without Liberty online campaign was launched in Venezuela last week, encouraging citizens to pose naked and post a photo to social networks under the Mejor Desnudos Que or Desnudos con la UCV hashtags, pledging support to students at the Central University of Venezuela, UCV, after a recent peaceful protest turned extremely nasty. Government protesters were staging a demonstration on the university's main campus and student opposition bastion of Caracas on April the 3rd, when one protester was taken aside by government loyalists and forced to strip naked before being beaten. Social networkers have shared accounts of the attack, condemning the violence of the armed groups, which are backed by President Maduro. And in a show of solidarity with the victim of this attack, students from the University of the Andes have posed for a series of photos in the streets of Mérida. They want to show the regime and its supporters that despite the repression and regular brutal crackdowns on anti-government demonstrators, they will not give up and will continue the protest movement, which began 2 months ago and has since spread across the country. Extremist site FiSyria.com recently posted a video online featuring a balaclava-clad man named Abu Issa al-Andalusi. They claim to be French footballer and former Arsenal star Lassana Diarra, calling on Muslims in the West to travel to Syria and fight with radical militants. British newspaper The Daily Mirror picked up on the story, leaving football fans extremely concerned. But the man himself has since taken to Twitter to categorically deny the claims. Korean mobile phone operator SK Telecom has created an orchestra using old phones and pagers as instruments. The music is to mark 30 years of mobile history and development in Korea, and you can check it out on the firm's webpage.
That sounds like something out of E.T. Don't go away. We'll be back in just a few moments. And in Focus, we'll be seeing how France is patching up sore relations with Mexico. François Hollande will be signing some 30 contracts there. And our reporters take a closer look at new ties with the French aeronautics industry. Don't go away.